Hello and welcome to Post to Post, the channel where we discuss all things hockey and all teams. Last night late there was a trade between the Dallas Stars and the Las Vegas Golden Knights. Marc Methot has left Vegas and gone to Dallas. Right off the gate here, I am very confused by this because Dallas sent back Dylan Ferguson, who is 18 years old. He was just drafted this year. We don't really know much about him. And then a 2020 second-round pick for Marc Methot. I feel like Dallas automatically won this trade, but of course, with draft picks, we're not going to know for a few years. It's Dylan Ferguson could turn out to be amazing. We just don't know, so we can't really say that Dallas won this trade overall. But right now, I think we can say that clearly Dallas won this trade as of today. But this is very confusing because I don't know what George McPhee is doing in Las Vegas. I would pencil Marc Methot to be a top four defenseman. Yep. He's a brilliant defensive defenseman. He can check, he can throw the body, he can do all those things. He can check all those boxes that a defenseman needs to do. And I can't imagine any team in the league wouldn't want Marc Methot. So and the fact that he only got that as a return is confusing to me. I don't know what George McPhee is doing. I don't know what the Vegas Golden Knights are doing. What the hell is going on?
This confused me and almost kind of pissed me off, to be perfectly honest. I mean, what is the point of taking an amazing defenseman in Marc Methot and then just flipping him days later?
Yeah,
that is so stupid. And to me, if you look at the now, Dallas clearly won this one.
I think so, because they had the cap room.
Hands down.
Dallas has the cap room now because they bought out Niemi and some other things. But I think the decision was based on Vegas was pretty much right up to the cap, or maybe a little over. They needed to shed some cap space because they picked terribly.
Well, then what's the point? That's what riled me up. I said, well, what's the point of taking him if you're just going to flip him in a couple days and basically get nothing in return?
Exactly.
And I'm sorry, like as of now, if I'm looking at what they got, to me it's nothing because it hasn't even panned out yet. So I'm looking at the now. What is the actual point of taking Marc Methot if you're just going to flip them in a couple days? It's almost as if a slap in the face of Ottawa Senators and all their fans who love Marc Methot to say, we're going to take your guy and then we're not even going to use him. We're going to ship him off elsewhere.
Exactly.
Just as a big F you. And that's the way I looked at it. It is so stupid. Ottawa had so many other guys that they could have taken with less cap hit and inserted into their lineup. Instead, they take Marc Methot with a higher cap hit, and then they flip them a few days. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, when they drafted their players, they created...
I love Marc Methot.
Me too. They created a problem because they were close to or over the cap, and then they needed to shed cap. Why wouldn't you draft players that let you have some cap space? Like when we did ours, I think you were close to the cap.
Oh, I was over.
You were over?
Oh, yeah, I was
you
over.
knew you were over. And
I knew I was over. And yeah, and when I knew I was over, I specifically targeted guys that I knew I could flip easily based on what they would be able to bring.
Yeah.
But I also knew with those particular selections I made, I'd be able to bring back very good assets for these particular players.
Yeah, and that's what the understanding was by the majority of people when they saw who was drafted by Vegas. Okay, there's going to be some flips and some flops and some trades, and there have been, but I don't understand them. Like the Schlemko trade, what they got in return for that, and now this Methot trade. I know they're looking for youth. I know they're looking to build their draft picks and stuff, but this is so mind-boggling.
Well, yeah, to me, Marc Methot's one of the better defensemen that were available for them to be able to take through the expansion draft. I mean, you don't just pass up on a guy like this. I mean, Dallas, my goodness, they landed themselves an amazing defenseman in Marc Methot. I just don't understand the mindset of Vegas of taking him and then flipping him for basically a bag of used pucks.
Yeah, he's making $4.9 million, something like that. He's making almost $5 million. I do believe Methot is overpaid a little bit, so I understand maybe the need to try and get that off the books. But I mean, you picked him. He made the decision to pick him. If you didn't want the cap pick, then why the hell did you pick him? Like you said, there's plenty of other guys on Ottawa that they could have chosen.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is very frustrating.
I don't get it.
It's great because I like Dallas. They're my third favorite team, so I'm pretty happy they got Marc Methot. But I feel bad for the Vegas fans because, and I don't even know how many Vegas fans there are. Like, realistically, I mean, compared to other teams, there's not many Vegas fans. But if you're watching this and you are a Vegas fan, I feel bad for you because you're so excited to have the best picks come in from each of these teams, and then they choose some questionable picks and then trade some out. Like, How frustrating would you be?
I feel
being a
bad for
Vegas
Marc
fan?
Methot. I mean, he's kind of been on a roller coaster ride over the last week, right? Not knowing if they're going to pick him, if he's going to remain with Ottawa, and then they do pick him. Oh, okay. Well, now I have to adjust to life in Las Vegas. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I now live in Dallas. You know, it's just utterly ridiculous.
And the offseason has only just started, so who knows where Marc Methot will go next.
Yeah, like I could maybe understand if they had a deal in place where they said to Team A, hey, we're going to take Marc Methot, and when we take Marc Methot, we're going to flip him with you in order to gain something in return.
Mm-hmm.
What did they really gain in return here? Like, I'm sorry to the individual. I already forget his name. What was the player?
Dylan Ferguson.
Dylan Ferguson.
He hasn't played. He's just 18 years
Right,
old. He's drafted
exactly.
this year. We don't know about these guys in 2020. Who's going to be the second round pick in 2020?
Yeah,
that person's eating cereal at home, getting ready to go to school or something. Like that's a nobody. Right now.
Like,
we don't
who
know.
knows? I mean, this is obviously no diss to Ferguson, but
Oh yeah, completely.
I mean, he hasn't established himself yet, so I can't look at this and say, okay, well, at least they're getting an established guy back, which they clearly are not. This is a player that's going to need perhaps several years of developmental before they could even put him in their lineup, in my opinion. I don't know. This whole thing was just stupid to me. I actually became very frustrated when I read about it.
Me too.
I said, this makes absolutely no sense. Why are you going to take the guy and then just flip him a few days later? It's so stupid. And if it was due to cap, take somebody else.
Exactly. But okay, so let's talk about Dallas and Methot. This is a brilliant addition for the Dallas lineup. I mean, they're making decisions here in the offseason. Nil has brought in Bishop, which is huge.
Huge, yeah.
Niemi gets bought out, which is another great sign. I don't know if Letton will be happy being the backup, but whatever.
It is what it is.
So Methot comes in. That's a huge bonus for their blue line. I think Dallas underachieved last year. I think they probably could have made the playoffs if things were a little different. If they had had solid goaltending, they could have been a playoff team. Next year, Dallas could be very competitive. It's going to be really interesting to watch them.
Well, I look at Dallas and instantly I think, well, they have what it takes up front, and now they address the back end out in net as well as their blue line with the addition of Methot. So I think they're making all the right moves, in my opinion.
And the draft pick that they just got, a big Finnish defenseman, I'm not sure if he's going to play in the league yet, but we're going to make a video on the draft coming up soon, so we'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, there's not really any closing thoughts we can make here. We're both frustrated, and I think we're both happy for Dallas as well, so it's a bit of
I'm ecstatic for Dallas.
Yeah. All right, so guys, let us know down in the comments below how you guys feel about this trade. Do you think Dallas won? Do you think Vegas won? What's your thoughts on Methot? Let us know in the comments below. We definitely want to know. If you're new to this channel, we hope you hit the subscribe button and join us here on Post to Post. And otherwise, if you like this video, hit the like button. That always helps. And we'll see you in the next video. Adios.